Hello, everyone. My name is Lexi, Youth Services Coordinator, and today I am discussing the new IEP, understanding what it is and what it looks like. This is a new format that had rolled out by DESE in 2023. Um, Schools started rolling it out in the fall of 2023 as it was presented as optional, but then became mandatory for schools to roll this out in the fall of 2024. As now we're easing into the fall of 2025 very soon. This format should be pretty much universal at this point. So I'm just going to describe what that looks like. The good news is that it's a new form and not a new process, meaning the things that educators do as far as the process of testing, collecting data, and serving your student in school is exactly the same. The only thing different is that the IEP, it just looks different. It's more accessible and a little bit easier to digest. It's supposed to be more inclusive, more transparent, and again, focuses on your students' unique skills and goals and challenges. So let's go ahead. So the new IEP mission statement is to improve outcomes for all students with disabilities by providing guidance, technical assistance, and tools on equitable processes to school and district professionals, families, and students so that all students with disabilities have meaningful access to the curriculum frameworks and life of the school. Why the changes? Kind of just what I described before. You know, it just was truthfully outdated and a little bit hard to understand. The previous IEP form was introduced way back in 2001, so we got well over 2 decades of feedback, and now DESE launched the IEP Improvement Project, and the goal of that is to improve outcomes for students with disabilities, ensure equitable access in curriculum and school life, make the IEP easier to understand for all involved. And also one part that I really like about it is that transitional services are also at the forefront at a younger age, because I think it's really important that we start talking about these things and giving students those autonomy and opportunity to express how they see their lives instead of us trying to tell them what we think their lives should be, if that makes sense. So, desired outcome for the new IEP. It centers student voice and vision. It addresses all disability-related needs. That actually comes before like the educational goals. It's the needs come first, the student's voice comes first. Clarity with graduation pathways, and integrating transitional planning throughout the entire process, and improving documentation clarity for families. Okay, so this here is the service delivery grid in the 2024 form. Where it differs opposed to the old service delivery grid is that not only is it going to show types of services, the duration, like start date, end date, and the amount of times that, per week a student is getting a certain service or accommodation. We're also now able to see like who is actually presenting the service, what provider, which type of educator is going to be providing that service, and also the location in which it will be provided, whether that is in a general education classroom or in a separate setting, or is this child getting accommodations out in specials like physical education or art. It's very clear and it shows what a student is getting, where they're getting it, how much, how frequently they are receiving the services. It's a lot more clear in that. What is different with the IEP form is that not only are you going to get a service delivery grid for your school year, you're also going to get one for extended school year if your student qualifies for that. So there's two service grids opposed to one, because I think that this new form is acknowledging that students are going to have different needs depending on the setting in which they are in, and also depending on the program they're in, because the school year and what that looks like and what a student needs during the school year might look a lot different than what they need an ESY if they qualify for extended school year program. The goals for services during the school year might be more towards like gaining new skills and leaning into those goals, whereas the ESY delivery grid and goals might look different. It's going to be more about like retention and like keeping those goals and like maintaining the same routines and things that students were working on during the school year, but kind of tailoring it to a different environment, to a different structure. Transition planning is integrated into the IEP through and through, and it begins as early as age 13, and it supports a smoother post-secondary transition. Um, the good news with transition planning being integrated throughout the IEP document rather than being a separate form, it creates something more clear and concise. This change is designed to make transition goals more meaningful, as well as just connected to the student's overall education. I think it does a really good job of piecing things together, and it just makes a lot more sense than to have a completely separate document that is solely just for the transition process. This is just a document with the goal of being able to embody the full child as they navigate their educational career. Department of Education has created a ton of guides. You can go online and look at sample IEPs to kind of see what they look like, how they're written, and you'll see pretty quickly how clear and concise this new version is. I hope that this information was helpful and insightful, and hearing a perspective from somebody who has had an IEP in the past. Hopefully, this is something that was valuable. I thank you for tuning in, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at Cord. Give us a call at 508-775-8300. We'll be happy to answer your questions and provide support in any way you may need. I want to wish everyone a very happy back to school time and a really amazing school year. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.